smurder, there is incest, there's like a bunch of horrible things that are happening. But because by your definition of great, would that country still be great?
By my definition, those things won't happen.
Equality will mean that you said everything was equal. You didn't say anything about anything else.
Yeah, because equality will mean that there'll be equality of opportunities as well. If there's equality of opportunities, there's going to be less chances for things like murder and raping.
I said equality.
Yeah, but that's not your definition.
That is my definition. I said
equality of opportunity. Why wouldn't it?
Okay.
Equality includes equality of opportunity. Why wouldn't it?
How could everything
because someone
be
has
equal?
equality of opportunity?
I didn't say everything was equal. I said equality of opportunity. Just because someone has equality of opportunity doesn't mean they have equality of ability.
Me and you go to.
Okay, how are you differentiating those?
Me and you go to ABC school.
Me and you go to
Let's say
I'll
I'm
give an
very
example.
good in math.
Me and you go to
you suck in
ABC
math.
school.
But you're very good in reading.
Let's say I'm
and I
very
suck
good
at
in
reading.
math.
One of us is going to
But
do
you
better
suck
than
in
the
math.
other. But we both go to
But
the
you're
same
very
school.
good in reading, and I suck at reading.
Exactly.
One of us is going to do
That's
better
what
than
I
the
mean
other,
by equality
but we
of
both go to the
opportunity.
same school.
Meaning that our schools actually
Exactly. That's what I mean by equality of opportunity. Meaning that our schools
you're not
actually
gonna go to
is
a
going
better
to be
school just
teaching
because
us
you have more money
the
than
same way.
And I'm not going to go to
And you're not gonna go to a better school just because you have more money than me, and I'm not gonna go to a better school just because my skin color is a certain way.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I get. I get your underlying premise is like, can I say BLK or what is that term I use?
I don't know what you're using.
Well, I don't know what it was TikTok friendly. I'm not trying to get your live taken down.
I'm gonna take it down if you say black.
Like what black?
Yeah, I
don't know why.
If you say black,
TikTok is silly.
Some lives won't let you say
what
that.
I'm saying is when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about
TikTok is silly. But
equality.
Yeah, what I'm saying is when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about the equality of like things like opportunity, economic justice, things like that, social justice, civil rights, equality of expression, things like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I understand that America doesn't always have like the best history when it comes to like that section, right?
So it's never been great.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think, let's look at it like an analogy of like a man, right? A man has like 10 great qualities. He's a leader. He's loyal. He blah, 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 blah. He does
Appreciate the galaxy. Thanks for that.
He has a bunch of great qualities, but he has one bad quality. Say he likes to drink, right?
Well, that depends on what.
Do you think that just because he has one bad quality, he's not a great man?
If he likes to drink,
well, that depends on what that one bad quality does. How it harms. If he likes to drink, that's fine. I like to drink, but if he's an alcoholic that beats his wife, he's not a great man.
In your analogy, America is the alcoholic drug addict.
In your analogy, America is the alcoholic drug addict who beats his wife and beats his kids.
Being leadership.
But he has a great head for being leadership of a Fortune 500 company.
No.
He's not a great man.
No, we're talking about like a bunch of good qualities.
Like I said before,
one bad quality.
On the harm that quality causes.
Like I said before, it depends on the harm that quality causes.
And he's very
if that man is a great leader, and he's very, very intelligent, but he's an alcoholic who beats his wife, he's not a great man.
Okay, what if that man did beat his wife, right? But he went to rehab. He started doing better. He tried being better. And he was being better. Would you say he's a great man then?
He's gotten better. I still won't call him great.
Okay, so he's taking steps to be great again, like to be a great man. Mm-hmm. But because he had a history, he's not a great man?
Correct.
So anybody who has a history, by your logic, is not great.
Depends on their history.
So you have nothing in your history, right, that would make you not a great man?
We'll have to go down the list of things. Hey, hold on, give me a second because I have to guest requests.
We'll have to go down the list of things.
I see you.
Hold on, give me a second because I have to guest requests.
Miss Angel.
Gob, I see you in the guest and little Miss Angel. I also see you in the guest request. Give me a few minutes with EMT, okay? Unless y'all want to come up and actually talk to EMT, then I might bring you up. If not, just wait for me in the guest request. I'll be right back with you guys.
Oh, Little Miss actually.
Alright, so EMT. So yeah, that
Little Miss, just give me a few minutes.
what you're saying. Little Miss actually wants to talk to you, so I might bring her up for a second. Little Miss, just give me a few minutes. Stay on mute. I'm gonna get EMT's last points, and then I'm gonna let you guys go ahead. All right. So EMT. So you said, I said, yeah, it depends on
like me. I've never been abusive in my life. I never even cheated on a girlfriend.
What that man actually did. Like me, I've never been abusive in my life, and I never even cheated on a girlfriend. So,
Little Miss, give me a second. Give me a second, Little Miss.
So, by EMT logic,
no, Little Miss, give me a second. Give me a second, Little Miss. Give me a second. Go ahead, EMT. Go ahead.
But by your logic, America can never be great then.
Yeah, America
because of its past.
Never will be.
That's a good point. Yeah, sure. Yeah, America was never great and probably never will be.
No. Not probably. You said it can never be great. Like, you would have to admit that it can never be great. Even though America has led the way in so many, like, technological...
So what?
Like...
So?
What do you mean, so?
So what?
Yeah, there's a lot of great factors about America.
So?
It invented...
No, I'm being genuine. That was just the first technological thing I thought of.
Let's be genuine here.
Like, for example,
I'm being genuine. That was just the first technological thing I thought of. Like, for example, I think the person who created smallpox did that in America. We were the first to the moon. We did a lot of impressive technological things. And when we were studying to going to the moon, the person who actually got us there, the black one who actually got us there, didn't get credit for that up until now, basically. That's not
no. It's great that we did it now.
You don't think it's great that we did it now?
It was hidden until now.
No, it's great that we did it now. It's not great that it was hidden until now.
She should have gotten credit back then, not now.
Exactly. So America's never great.
Yeah, but
she should have gotten the credit back then, not now.
She should have. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Nobody's perfect, and to hold everybody to like that perfect standard, when there's like a bunch of contributing factors to what would make somebody great or not. I don't think it's fair to like hold one aspect
racism
and then say because they did this thing, they can't be great.
Exactly.
When racism is never great.
Was and probably still is.
Yeah, I'm not saying racism is never great.
Exactly. So America was and probably still is. Actually, I'm gonna say still is a racist country. So it's not great.
You think America's a racist country?
Yes.
Systemic racism.
For what's your reasoning behind that?
Systemic racism.
In employment, in housing,
in what? And what are we talking about specifically?
In employment, in housing, and in the healthcare, and in the justice system.
Right.
Yeah, I don't agree, but I'm not really like looking to like go down like the race.
No, I'm just saying right. I get you.
It's exhausting. I don't understand what you're saying right for.
Yeah, it is exhausting.
No, I'm just saying right. I get you. You don't want to go down it because it is exhausting. It is a lot.
It's just like we're gonna have to pull up so many sources, and it is exhausting. I understand what you're saying though. Like I really do. I understand.
Makes us
I understand your point that like that dark spot on like America's history
makes us not great.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna let Little Miss go next.
I don't understand what I've said that was racist.
Little Miss, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna let Little Miss go next because I think we got to the end. Little Miss, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, host. I respect everything you said, and I do respect everything that you have said. What's your name? E.N.?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. There's so many things that you have said that are just so not unbiased that you have.
I would say the same for you guys.
Okay, well, when you have a debate, you mute yourself and you let other people talk.
Well, I'm not here to debate. I'm here to talk to the host.
Okay, then talk to the host.
Well, you called me a racist in chat. I want to know what I said.
Well, are you gonna let me talk, or are you gonna talk over me? Because I don't respect that.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Okay, then mute yourself.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and talk, y'all. We don't have to do the whole back and forth thing.
Let's just go ahead and talk, y'all. We don't have to do the whole back and forth thing. Go ahead and say what you need to say to him, Little Miss. And EMT, do not interrupt her, and if you do interrupt, I'm gonna have to mute you. You understand? So let's just talk one at a time. But go ahead, Little Miss.
You were talking about the fact that America was not racist. That is just unfair and very much proving exactly what we thought that you were.
Right.
Because
yeah,
as someone,
we're gonna let her finish.
Okay,
Yeah, you did
I'm
concede
sorry,
that
but
America has a
did I
racist history.
not
I think what she's
concede?
trying to
Did
say
I not
is
concede and say that America had a racist history?
Right. Yeah. We're gonna let her finish. Yeah, you did concede that America has a racist history. I think what she's trying to say.
I mean,
is
I
that
understand.
Yeah, I wasn't even able to speak 2 sentences before he interrupted me.
Sorry, guys.
We're not.
Yeah, if you say something that's
We
false,
were
I'm
a
gonna
little
correct
unfair
it.
to
You
Lil
don't
Miss.
even let me finish my
Let her
point.
go ahead and
How
finish
do
her
you say
point,
it's
EMT,
false
and
without
then you can
me
go ahead. If
finishing
she
my
says it's
point?
false,
Sorry, guys.
But go ahead and let her finish her entire
we were a
statement.
little
We
unfair
were
to Lil Miss. We were unfair to
Lil
her.
Miss. Go ahead.
Let her go ahead and finish her point, EMT, and then you can go ahead. If she says something false, then rebuttal it, okay? But go ahead and let her finish her entire statement. We were unfair to her. I'm sorry about that, Lil Miss. Go ahead.
Thank you, host. What I was saying was, in the conversation that you were having with the host, we talked about the fact that America was never great. And you brought up different things, and we weren't going to go into the racist thing, but then suddenly we were there. But when we talk about America not being fair, we have to talk about the prison system that is still in place. Where did the police ever came from? And if you know the history of America, you know where the police came from. That came from slave patrol. We have to talk about the police system not being fair to Black Americans. The fact that the word on drugs, like when it happened, was over-policing Black neighborhoods, which is still happening right now, over-policing Black neighborhoods compared to white, quote-unquote, white neighborhoods. If Black people move into white neighborhoods, they don't get policed the same way that they would in the quote-unquote hood, which we shouldn't be talking about right now. Look at Lake Erie. Do you know what Lake Erie is right now? We have so many different things that have happened in history that still haunt us as Black Americans. And I'm Puerto Rican. I'm a Black Puerto Rican, and I can tell you what white Americans have done to my island. But let's talk about what has happened here. And that's what you guys are talking about. But there are so many things that you have mentioned in this life that I just get baffled by, because this is like still written in the books, history books. Like as Black Americans, we shouldn't be teaching other people about the history that happened here. This is dumbfounded. And there are so many things in this life behind the host right now that I would have wished to be talking about, like American healthcare, America's, like, you know, the so many different points that he pointed there. But then I listened to you talk, and I knew exactly when I joined that you would not let me talk, because you're exactly what we talk about all the time. It's a person that doesn't know how to debate, doesn't learn how to listen to other people, because the host has told you multiple times what the point is, and it's always, well, yeah, but this. Then do it to me. But don't interrupt me, because I don't like being interrupted, and I think that we should all respect the host. You should respect me. When we're in a debate, it's not about listening to respond. It's about listening to learn, and then you respond with your point. With respect.
Okay.
And now
cool. Did you want to talk about anything else?
I'm good. I'm not going to respond to her. She just said like 5 million things. It's not even worth it.
Now, I'm pretty sure Lil Miss is going to have something to say about that.
Did you want to talk about anything else?
Be prepared.
Yeah, we can go do our abortion.
I was going to say that. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Of course.
Now,
I'm
pretty sure Lil Miss is
legal
going
and
to
safe
have
access
something
to
to say about that.
you
be prepared for that. I was going to say that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. All right. So, legal and safe access to abortion. Do you agree or disagree, or what's the problem?
Rape and medical exception. Okay, but if elective,
I would give
okay, why no to elective?
And medical exception.
Rape and medical exception. Okay.
Okay, cool.
But
So
elective,
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't get
elective. No. Okay. Why no to elective?
I don't find it moral to unalive a human being.
Okay, cool. So don't do it. Don't get an abortion then.
My question for him, host, is
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt real quickly. I put a timer on because I put a timer on for everybody. We're at about the 10-minute mark. So I'm gonna let you guys go.
I'm sorry to interrupt real quickly. I put a timer on because I put a timer on for everybody. We're at about the 10-minute mark. So I'm gonna let you guys go for the next 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna move on to Google, who's been in the
Thank you.
Go ahead and answer a little bit. Question. I'm sorry.
Just to let you guys know.
I got about 5. I got about 5 that I'm gonna dip.
About 5 you can do. Okay, no problem. But go ahead and answer Little Miss's question. I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead.
It's not relevant.
Oh, well, it is relevant. Do you have random
Anecdotals are not relevant to a debate.
It's not anecdotals. It's simple math, simple biology.
Simple math and biology.
Do you have random schmecks with women right now?
Sure.
Do you plan with every single woman that you have random schmecks to have a child?
No.
Okay, then you have no opinion because you sit here and you say, oh, every single woman that gets pregnant has to have a child, but then you have to be
and medical exception.
That's not low IQ. That's simple math. It is.
What is simple math about what I just said?
It is simple. Grow up in your life saying that they have children, then you're gonna bitch about the fact that you don't want to pay child support, but then you want those women to have your child.
How do you know how I react to women having my child?
My question. I understand that.
No, you don't.
You talked about that.
Unalive.
You just talked about
what
that.
EMT? This is
unalive human beings either.
This is what I'll say, EMT. This will be my question. I understand that you don't want to unalive human beings. I don't want to unalive human beings either.
I don't
you think like a fetus is a human? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, we understand that human life starts at conception.
Okay. The thing is, I don't really put value on. I don't put a lot of value on the life aspect. I put value on the.
But so is.
Let me just respond to you. I don't put much value on the life aspect. I admit to you that it's alive. It is alive. But so is someone in a coma that's brain dead. They're alive too. But we're still gonna unplug grandma. You know what I'm saying? When they're brain dead. So what I would say is that what I put value on is when the fetus actually has sentience, which is about 24, 25 weeks. That's when they can have their own human experience. Before that, there's literally nothing there. So it's
even then, like let's use something different, because that's something that, like, you know, they're gonna look like and listen to that and they're gonna go over their heads. Let's use something more scientifical. As someone that's a medical student,
scientifical. That's the word.
No, hold on. You just said that you have multiple sex encounters with schmeck points with different women.
Masters in, I
never said that.
That's what you just
EMT, from what we understood, because she asked you, do you have intercourse with unplanned intercourse?
I appreciate you saying
yes, you have intercourse. So like that, so it applies to
we understood, because she asked you, do you have intercourse with unplanned intercourse with women? And you said, yeah, you do have intercourse.
Yeah, he did.
So you're in a relationship. So it applies to us that you do have had multiple partners before. So I'm
in a relationship.
So let's say.
Okay, you're in a relationship. Okay. So he's in a relationship. Let's go there.
It still doesn't change that. Let's say that you had multiple schmeck situations with multiple people, because that's what you admitted to before.
What would it matter? I don't want to
hear it that you're in a relationship now. That's why you were admitted like earlier in the debate. We're gonna go off of what you admitted earlier in the debate, because now you're doubling down on some. I have a relationship. Okay, whatever. Period. I have a relationship too that I've had for a year. But at the end of the day, let's say that you got into a relationship with this girl that you're in a relationship with now, and you just had schmecks with those girls like maybe 3-4 months before you got into this relationship with this girl that you love. You want to start life with her. You want to put a ring on her finger, whatever. And then those girls text you on some, I'm 7 months pregnant.
Yes, I'm obligated.
But the thing is, understanding that those girls would have realized you had been in a relationship, they don't want to have a kid with you.
Yeah, I don't care. I still think he's obligated.
Well, hold on, let me finish. What they do is before we get to the month 7, the month 8, the month 6, the month 4, they realize, oh my God, I'm pregnant on the 2nd month, the 3rd month, the 4th month. That guy is dating someone else. I don't want to have a kid with that person.
Yeah, I don't care.
They go and get an abortion. Let me finish. They go and get an abortion. And when you fight the mentality of they're a person, and if we're going to fight the whole mentality of a brain dead patient was a person that became brain dead. That person has family. Hold on, let me finish.
You're just monologuing for 5 minutes every time you talk.
Because most people don't know how to have a debate. Let me
You're not debating, you're just monologuing.
No, I'm saying my point, and then you get to say your point.
Say one.
Stay quiet. You stay quiet until I get my point. Do not interrupt me. Especially as a woman, do not interrupt me until I'm done.
Tell everybody. Let's go ahead and land the plane, Lil Miss.
Tell everybody. Let's go ahead and land the plane, Lil Miss.
I got you.
So we can get to the point because
that's what I was getting to the point. I was finishing my point so he could have some.
So he can have his point. Okay, I got you.
Interrupting me, so.
I got you. Go ahead.
Lil Miss. My point was, if I were to right now, let's say that God knows that I wouldn't sleep with you, but let's say that I would sleep with you, and I went home, and then I was like, oh my God, I miss, my schmeriod. We had schmex, and there I go. I was like, oh my God, 2 months from now, I got a pregnancy test, came positive. I was like, oh my God, I'm 2 months pregnant. And I was like, oh, that guy doesn't talk to me anymore. We went on one date. We slept together one time. I don't even know his phone number. I really don't even know his name. This kid's going to probably end up either me raising him by myself or
shout out to Master Zen.
You know what I mean? So
I still think you're obligated.
I'm going to end up ending it because that kid's going to end up in the foster system. And if you have ever been a kid in the foster system, you agree that you don't want to be there.
My question is why.
So,
I still think you're obligated.
No,
okay, here's the thing, EMT. Like, here's the thing. My question is why?
Why? Because I value human life.
Oh, but that's disgusting.
I also
that most of the kids in the foster system, actually 50% of the kids in the foster system end up getting alive.
Really quick. Can I just destroy her whole argument so she can just be quiet, please? Little Miss.
Oh my God! So she
your logical.
Quiet? Oh my God! You're disgusting.
Here's the thing. Yeah, foster care really does suck.
Because children are foster care.
What I was gonna say is that I understand that
here's the thing. Yeah, foster care really does suck. But what I was gonna say is that I understand that you value human life. I also value human life, but I put different values on different types of life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand you hold the sentience view, okay? I don't hold the sentience view. I think that if human life starts at conception, that human life is what we value. I don't think that we should, do, conjunctions. It has to be human life and this. I don't think that's morally right. I don't understand it.
Why not?
That goes down, every dark road that we've ever had with humans starts when you say you're not a human until you're a human plus this. I think that human life alone is what we should value. Now, if you're talking about
ending sentient human life,
say why is unaliving someone wrong?
Because you're ending sentient human life.
Yeah, but why is that wrong?
Harm. You're harming them because you end their experience.
What makes that act wrong?
Harm.
Okay, how are you harming them?
You're harming them because you end their experience forever.
Exactly. Okay. So the human life starts at conception. I only care about the human experience from that point on. If it's human life from that point on,
because the experience
then why do we not value that the same way that we would value the life of the murder victim.
Right. So, because the experience doesn't happen in the 24 weeks before that, they have no experience.
I don't care about the potential.
But the capacity is there, and we care about human life, right? We care about robbing that human life of the experience. That's what harm is.
Would you give a 5-year-old alcohol?
I can prove that you don't care about potential. I can prove that you don't care about potential.
They have the potential to be 21.
Okay, try.
Would you give a 5-year-old alcohol?
No. Right.
They have the potential to be 21.
When they are 21, that's when they can. But when they're 5, you're not going to give it to them.
They won't be 21. When they are 21,
right.
They can.
Right, when they are 21, that's when they can. Right, so but when they're 5, you're not going to give it to them, even though they're going to be 21.
No, it is analogous because it shows that the entire capacity and potential
right, so like what
is not something that we actually value.
Right, it is analogous because it shows that the entire capacity and potential argument is not something that we actually value or care about. We care about what it actually is.
Until 24
Not what it's going to be.
Then it actually has
what it is at that moment is something that just has no experience. It's literally like people have said in the comments, a clump of cells. Until 24 weeks, then it actually has experience. And that's when at that point I think we should be valuing or prioritizing abortions that will keep it alive.
Yeah, you can harm someone.
Do you think you can harm someone without them knowing?
Wait, how? How do you harm someone?
If it's you can harm someone with like without them how? Wait, how? How do you harm someone without them knowing?
Okay, say there's
because there's
say there's a woman in a coma. Okay, is it wrong to grape her if she never knows?
No consent.
Oh yeah, because there's no consent.
Why? If she never knows, and why is that wrong?
No consent.
Does it cause her harm? Grape still causes
let me reword that question.
You
cause her
have
harm.
to forcibly penetrate in order to do that.
Does it cause her harm?
Yes.
Grape still causes harm because
issue would because
you have to forcibly penetrate in order to do that.
Cases,
but she would never know that it happened.
And when they get out of their coma, they actually feel
because there have been cases.
So they know something is wrong.
What you're talking about has actually happened before, and when they get out of their coma, they actually feel like soreness down there. A few of them actually got pregnant, so they know something is wrong.
No, I hear you, but I'm saying in this hypothetical, she'll never know.
Still wrong because of the consent.
Yeah, no problem. Draw me a follow if you want to go ahead and follow me again. But I think I know what you're reaching at.
But I tried to find you guys. I found you. Okay.
No problem. I think I know what you're reaching at.
Draw me a follow if you want to go ahead and follow me again.
If she doesn't know,
I think I know where you're reaching at.
I got you.
I will still argue that.
I think I know what you're reaching at. EMT, like basically you're saying that if she doesn't know, then there's no harm done. I will still argue that there's still harm done because number one, because of the consent, and number two, you do have to forcibly penetrate. Like women don't get wet automatically. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's a crude way of saying it, but
I agree with you that it causes harm. Mm-hmm. But if we're applying it to abortion, mm-hmm. just because the human life isn't sentient doesn't mean that you can't harm it.
Okay, so my question here is, since the human life is sentient, which as someone that studies medicine, that's very inaccurate.
What's inaccurate?
Hold on.
What's inaccurate? I'm trying to clarify.
Don't interrupt me. I'm talking.
I'm asking a clarifying question.
I'm talking. Then let me.
What was wrong?
We got 5 minutes.
Well, let me explain it. But if you keep saying your opinion, then nobody's talking. There's no debate happening. You need to stop.
We got 5 minutes, guys.
People, okay? When you ask a question, you shush so other people can answering. You're
allowed to ask clarifying questions if I don't know you.
Hey guys, I'm sorry.
Doesn't really make
just to a
debate.
Let
a
you guys
debate
know,
is when you listen to listen, not listen to response. Okay.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Just to let you guys know we got 5 minutes.
And EMT, just to clarify, I think she was trying to say that I was wrong.
I'm gonna say my opinion, and then he gets his opinion. If it ends, it ends. But
and EMT, just to clarify, I think she was trying to say that I was wrong when I said that the fetus doesn't have sentience. Is that correct, Lomas?
No. I wasn't saying anybody in the conversation was wrong. I'm trying to explain a very much opinion in a debate, when we're in a debate, you don't interrupt people. Host, I respect you, don't get me wrong. But I think that this guy that you added is just, he doesn't never know how to like respond to a debate, because a debate is letting another person talk without interrupting. He would have muted himself. Like I mute myself when other people talk. But at the end of the day, anyway, medically speaking, sir, if I were to get pregnant tomorrow and I waited 3 months, let's say 3 months, 4 months, before I realized I was pregnant, and then I was like, I don't want this baby anymore, I'm gonna give birth to it. Granted, that's not how it happens, but let's say that that magically happened. I could just give birth to a kid at 3 months. Would that child live outside my body okay? Or would they die? They would die. They would die. They would die. Because they depend on my body.
So do
my
newborns.
Body, my choice.
So do newborns. What's your point?
My point here is that you are being a man. You're thinking that it's so easy to live this life and like, oh, babies, and well, their life, okay. The same way as think about a shark. I love sharks, but sharks have parasites. If you take that parasite away from the shark, they'll die. Were they a fish? Were they a parasite? Yes, they were. Were they alive? Yes, they were. But once you took them away from the shark, what happened? They died.
Yeah. Babies
you don't think that it's the shark's fault? Are you gonna blame the shark? Are you gonna sentence the shark to death because the shark cut off that parasite off their body?
To feed them. But not
I can't look at the words. MT, I think what she's trying to point out is that newborns depend on us for like to feed them, but not for homeostasis. Basically, they can survive outside on their own, do their own homeostasis. Like a fetus before 24 weeks can't do that. They have to depend on the mother. Or if we have a birth where it's still in the fetal stage and we keep it alive, we have to put in like a medical like incubator. I'm not sure how that works. Little Miss could probably tell us more. But
there's no debate. There's no debate on that. Like we understand that a fetus is supposed to.
I can tell you how that works. So when a fetus that medically, as a medical professional, when it comes to a fetus, it has to be more than 30 months, 30 weeks. I'm sorry.
2 more minutes.
But it can be 28, but that's like premature, like very like wishful thinking. There are some that survive, don't get me wrong, but it's a very rare. We have feeding tubes. We have tubes on them. We have incubators. We have. They don't survive.
Pause. Okay, sorry, little miss. Pause. We have 2 minutes. Let's go ahead and wrap up because Google has been waiting for a while, and I do apologize to you, Google. I'm gonna bring you up right now, but he's been waiting for a while. Let's go ahead and get a wrap up.
I'm gonna spend my last 2 minutes talking to Little Miss. Little Miss, you're a healthcare professional. What's your experience? What's your occupation? What do you do?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I do ER right now.
Yeah, you work in the ER. In what capacity?
And most of the time, I work with mothers. That's why I'm so like big on like.
Wait. You work in the ER in what capacity?
Right now with our laws.
What's your role? What's your title? What makes you what license gives you the ability to work in the ER?
I'm an OGBYN.
Oh yeah, you went to school? Are you a medical doctor?
Yes.
Oh really? Because I thought earlier you said you're a medical student.
Do you know how residency works?
Are you a year 1 resident? Or are you a year 2 resident?
I'm a year 2 resident. Do you know how that works, or are you like I don't know?
Okay, you're a year 2 resident.
What are you? What's your?
Yeah, I've been an EMT for the past 8 years, and now
an EMT, like everybody else that gets a license. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, and now I'm in nursing
Got
school.
it, because like an EMT, I could have gotten that as someone without a bachelor's. Got it. Okay, now I understand why the mentality is like 0.27. Okay. When
you're an OBGYN.
Whenever you go,
so you're an
like,
OBGYN.
Whenever you go to like get a degree,
I'm sorry.
You're an
and go and
OBGYN who
do
works in
something like I don't know exceptional, because like as an
Can we pause real quick?
You have a certificate, brother.
I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure
Can we
it's a
pause
hard
real
job.
quick?
They're not firemen, but I'm pretty sure he's seen some shit.
Let's not demean people's profession. Yeah, I mean, an EMT actually is I'm pretty sure it's a hard job. They're not firemen, but I'm pretty sure he's seen some shit.
But what you're not gonna sit here is like say that my job as a resident student that actually got 2 degrees to get there is worse than an EMT that just got a certificate. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think you have those.
I love EMTs. They do jobs that I can never. Yeah. Same with like a police officer. Same with like a goddamn, I don't know, firefighter. They do jobs that I can never do. But
I'm gonna be a therapist.
When we're talking about medical stuff, don't try to demean the fact that I am a resident student when you're an EMT.
Yeah, I don't think you're a resident student. I think you're a liar.
Let's pause because it's
I think
getting
that
a little
you
bit
need help.
heated, and I want to just stay respectful.
I think
I can send you some therapists.
Right now.
I think you
All right,
said
let's pause. Let's pause because it's getting a little bit heated, and I want us to stay respectful. I actually am going to be a therapist. That's what I'm studying right now. And my clinical starts in January. Yeah, but it starts in January.
Still here.
But so
Please be a good EMT.
I got you. So I do gotta go ahead and bring Googles up because he's been waiting for a while. As a matter of fact,
Google's up like
no, that's fine.
Now, don't get me wrong. I do understand where you're
night.
coming from.
no problem. Have a good night.
It's just that I think we should
EMT, I'm gonna go ahead and let Google's up. Like now, don't get me wrong. I do understand where you're coming from, EMT. It's just that I think we should prioritize those type of things first, other than just like the vague thing of like just it's just life. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that the point, like my argument would be it's human life, and that's what we value. We care about human futures. We care about we do value the future.
Care about the future, but
we can't
I care
come
more,
to like ground on that. We did establish that you do care about the future of human life.
I definitely care about the future, but I care more. I do think that a woman's Google's not here. Crap, damn, that sucks. But yeah, I do think that the woman's autonomy takes precedent over the fetal's future or life. I know you fundamentally just disagree with that, but that's where I'm at.
I don't think that I don't think I'm granting any extra rights to the mother. I'm granting them equal rights. I think the difference in our stances is going to be. I think that she has an obligation, and I don't think that bodily integrity defeats that obligation.
I think it does. Yeah, so we're at a fundamental disagreement. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but can you tell me why, like her bodily integrity would forego like the other humans' rights if she puts that being into the state of dependency?
Because that's her right to do.
Yeah, but we're talking about what she ought do, right? Like what she morally ought do. And I can make points that where you'll like I assume that like we can get to like some kind of common ground if there's nobody else in the queue.
Yeah, what she morally ought do is something that's actually best for her. No, I don't think that doesn't harm anyone else.
So do you think that like people's okay, wait, sorry, I got it. So you're saying that the thing that is
what's best for the person the best choice always?
Is like the right choice always?
What's best for the person the best choice always?
Oh no! That's not always the right. No, I'm not saying that. That's not always the best thing because remember there are people who are forced.
Do you think that
so it's not. That's not what I mean. I'm more on like if a woman wants to have I'm more about the women doing what's best for them and what they believe is best for them. If a woman if a 21-year-old who just got to college really thinks that I'm gonna go ahead and have this baby no matter what, even though you know, it could like derail my college plans. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this because that's what I believe. That's still pro-choice. She should have that right to do that. She shouldn't be forced to get an abortion.
Do this because that's what I believe. That's still pro-choice. She should have that right to do that. She shouldn't be forced.
Oh no, to get an abortion. That's what I'm saying. To get an abortion. Yeah, she shouldn't be forced to get an abortion. You know what I'm saying? If her choice is to go through with the pregnancy, she should have that choice. But if her choice is to not go through with the pregnancy, she should also have that choice.
She shouldn't be forced to get.
That's what I'm trying to say. Give me 1 second. Taylor Tom, I'm gonna bring you up in a few moments. Give me about 2 more minutes with EMT, and I'm gonna bring you up. All right, Taylor. But yeah, you've been up for a while, EMT. You have any last thing for me?
Give me about 2 more minutes with EMT, and I'm gonna bring you up. All right, Taylor. But yeah, you've been up for a while, EMT. You have any last thing for me?
Yeah. So if I were standing next to a pool with my friend, and I pushed them in, and I found out they couldn't swim, am I morally obligated to jump in that pool and help them get out?
In my opinion, yes.
Okay. Why?
No, you didn't place them into a state of dependency. You placed them into a state of they're going to die.
You didn't place them into a state of dependency. You placed them into a state of
they're going to die. Into a state of life.
Yeah, that's a state of dependency. Without your help, they will unalive.
No, I'm gonna put them into a state of life or death. Like there's a state of dependency.
That's a state of dependency.
I'm gonna say dependency right now because I can walk out my door and die. Like I'm not sure what you mean.
No, a state of dependency would be like that. Like human life depends on you to like live.
So EMT, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Are you? What is? Do you have a faith tradition?
No.
Okay, so you were never raised in the church or anything?
No, I'd say like I'm agnostic. Like I think there's a God. But I don't know which one.
To do, what is the thing you're measuring it that what they ought to do if you don't have a faith tradition?
I would say that I do hold myself to like more Christian morality.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just intuitive for me.
So effectively, you're a Christian.
Yeah, I mean more or less, but I don't follow Christianity. But I do think if God is what I think he is, that would be like the representation that I'm going to follow.
So the thing to loop back on what you were talking with Lil Miss, the thing that you're missing here is that if you do not have a right to your own body, you don't have a right to anything. And that's what was behind the Supreme Court decision, is that it wasn't about Roe v. Wade per se. It was about whether or not you as a person have a right to privacy to your own body. And you don't. As a man, you don't. I don't. That's what that court case said.
Yeah.
Roe v. Wade is the thing that got all the attention, but we all lost our abilities, men, women, whatever. We all lost the ability to have privacy and the right to privacy of our own body.
Yeah, I understand the bodily integrity argument, okay? I understand it, okay? I understand that if someone shows up on my porch, I can kick them out, okay? Here's where I'm going to differ from you two. I don't think that if I invite that person and they break their leg on my porch and they can't get off my porch, that I can unalive them.
That's a false equivalency.
Yeah, okay, then what? How is it?
Well, the host had a really good analogy earlier today that you didn't agree with, and I would just pivot back to that.
Which one?
He just said like 5 minutes ago.
Like the potential life,
like valuing
you want to give a 5-year-old
future life
just because they
the potential life, like if do you want to give a 5-year-old alcohol just because they have the potential to be 21? We care about what things are, not what they have the potential to be.
Yeah, I care. That's not my stance. I care about
I would agree with you that human experience is wrong.
And I think that taking that human experience is wrong. I don't think
so.
Because they don't have the capacity.
Right, and I would agree with you that taking human experience is wrong. It's just what I'm saying is that before 24 weeks, they have no experience.
I have a real life example. So when you wrap your point,
but yeah, what I was saying was
I'm sorry for interrupting. I was
talking to EMT. I'm sorry.
That's no problem. But yeah, what I was saying was EMT in my view, or like basically from a scientific point of view, there is no experience before those 24 weeks. That's why after those 24 weeks, let's go ahead and prioritize any type of abortion that would keep the fetus alive, which do exist. You can have an abortion that keeps the fetus alive. Put it in like one of those like incubators, or I think you can surgically remove the entire uterus, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's a hysterectomy. You're a nurse, so you'll be able to tell me. But that's why I think we should prioritize. But before that, there's no experience. I agree with you with not any experience. But before those 24 weeks, there's no experience.
I don't care about the experience. I care about the future.
I care about
human life
having
a future.
Like, at the end of the day,
I care about human life having a future as well. But
Tom, go ahead.
At the end of the day, it goes back to the integrity of the woman. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting Taylor. Tom, go ahead. I know you were waiting for a while.
Well, no, to kind of piggyback on what you were saying is that not all futures are equally good. You're just assuming that every future is going to be beneficial for the fetus when it's born, and it's not.
Wait, I don't. Why does that matter?
Because you're proceeding from a false place of logic that you just seem to have. By what you've said, you seem to be saying, well, I care about the potential of this person's life, and that the future is going to be X, Y, and Z. Where if the statistics are out there for you to find and see, like how many people are born into poverty and they're put into social situations and not social. Economic situations where they cannot escape from because of decisions made by their parents.
Yeah, that's eugenics, and I think that's really bad.
No, that's not eugenics. I'm talking about economics, flat out economics.
Yeah, you're saying that because someone isn't going to be as rich as another person, then they shouldn't have the right to life. I think that's really bad.
No, that's not
what we're saying at all, man. That's not what we're saying at all. Like here's what I would say.
One last point. My daughter-in-law would be unalive if she did not have the ability to have that medical procedure, because she had ectopic pregnancy, but that would have unalived her. So they had to make sure that the mother could have the possibility to have more children in the future. They ended that pregnancy. That's why it needs to be.
I don't have any problem with self-defense. I give self-defense.
Like, there's not going to be anything wrong, but like.
His EMT is more on the side of like elective, like there's not going to be anything wrong, but like it's about she's in the 6th week and she just wants to have the abortion because it's not the right time of her life at that moment.
6 weeks or 6 months
in no time.
No, not 6 months. Like because I'm before 24 weeks. And EMT, I think, believes in no time, no elective abortions at all.
What I would say is that
none.
What I would say is that
is an actual issue, right?
Because I think what Taylor Thomas is pointing out is an actual real issue, right?
After the baby is born,
like a lot of people who are pro-life, the reason why a lot of folks just call them pro-birth is because after the baby is born,
if they do not get more help.
We do have situations where there are a lot of women who are in poverty, and that child's going to have a worse life if they do not get more help. But when you ask these same people, do you agree with like things like UBI, maternal leave, a more expansive welfare state to actually help these mother out, free daycare, etc., things like that? They would say no. But these things actually make the life of that child worse. So if you care about the future, you should care about putting those type of conditions in place as well, no?
Yeah, I mean, sure. But what you guys are doing right now is you're saying, like, what I'm talking about is, like, valuing human life. Mm-hmm. And you guys are saying, okay, well, if you value human life, then you should also value this and this.
I understand that we're talking about
abortion,
maybe,
but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about abortion.
The argument is saying I value human life.
I understand that we're talking about abortion, but if the argument is to argue about, if the argument is saying I value human life, I get it. You value human life, but if you value human life, why does that only extend to when they're born?
All right, they could have a right to be born. No one said they don't.
Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about these children having the right to be born.
All right, they could have a right to be born. No one says they don't have a right to be born.
No, I'm not pro-life.
They can have that. What happened?
Well, then why? Then you're pro-life?
No, I'm not pro-life. I'm pro-choice.
That's why we're going to go back.
Pro-choice, which means that I'm pro-life.
No, this is where we're going to I'm pro-life. I want those children to have a chance at life.
But your
equivalence.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say your equivalence is that it's either pro-choice, meaning that the pro unalivement, or pro life, which is pro-life.
With the
and that's not at all what we're talking about here.
To be alive.
And my problem with the position is that you want the children to be alive, but you're not concerned with the quality of life they're actually going to have.
Well, that's not true. You don't know my stance.
I just asked you,
you say that
example to its logical conclusion.
So should we put all these other things in place?
Right, and I just asked you, do you care about all these other things? And you say that no, we're not talking about those things. So should we put all these other things in place?
Yeah. If you're asking me personally, yes. Okay. Yeah, I do think that. Okay, but what I'm circling back to is that this argument is, should these children be able to be born if they're going to be born into these situations? My answer is yes, because I don't think that situations dictate human life. Okay, because if that was the case, say there was a 3-month-old and a mother loses her job, she's going through an extreme hardship, should she be able to unalive her child?
That's false equivalency.
Yes, false equivalency because
straight up schmurder.
Because that baby is already sentient. It already has a
that was my initial argument.
Now you guys are saying it matters how far along the child is. That was not your
alive.
That was my initial argument. I said at 24 weeks we should prioritize keeping the fetus alive.
Okay, but if your other argument is these children are going to have a hard life because of finances, why can't a woman who is going through a hardship unalive her child?
Because sentience. I just said that.
Okay, so you're saying sentience, right?
Mm-hmm. No, my argument has always been.
So that's what you care about. Your argument is not if the child has a hard life.
There's no experience there.
No, my argument has always been before 24 weeks, do whatever you want because there's no experience there. After 24 weeks, let's prioritize abortions that will keep the fetus alive unless there's a medical necessary reason why we can't do that.
Yeah, I understand that's your stance, but why are we talking about if these children are going to have a hard life or not? What does that matter?
Because that's the logical extrapolation of your argument of saying, well, they're prioritizing what their future might be. Well, what will their future be? You have to extrapolate out rather, that all of the futures are not co-equal and co-good. And why then would you want to put a mother and a child in such a horrible, disadvantageous position?
Because I don't think that just because a child is going to have a quote-unquote hard life, that it shouldn't have the chance to life.
Are you poor?
I would not say I'm poor.
My parents are from Haiti.
Were you born poor?
I've seen poverty.
Because I was. And it fucking sucked.
Okay, well,
my parents are from Haiti, and I've seen poverty.
And he's seen more poverty than me.
Your guys' argument is coming back to, if these children are going to be born into poverty, they should be unalived. That's eugenics.
No.
Can we Google what eugenics is?
I know what eugenics is, but I'm not arguing eugenics.
Too. I've got a degree. I know. I have a BA in history and a minor in psychology. I know what eugenics.
If we're going to go down the road of you two using anecdotes, then we both know that you're pro-life because you didn't unalive yourself just because you were born into a hard situation.
What?
That makes no sense, man.
Why not?
Because suicide has nothing to do with this.
Yes, it does. Because if life is going to be so hard that it's not worth living for these children that are getting aborted, then you guys would have unalived yourselves.
No, it's a human. Yeah, I was gonna say two things. Number one, it's basically an ingrained human emotion to stay alive because we're organisms. That's just we're animals. This is what we are. Hold on. We're animals. It's just what we are. We have a motivation to stay alive. But number two, a lot of people who are in poverty do unalive themselves. As a matter of fact, it's my theory, it's my personal psychological theory, that a lot of this crash out behavior that we see from young men who live in the projects, a lot of that is just suicidality.
Oh, I definitely think so. I've been around projects.
They don't want to be alive anymore.
Don't want to be alive anymore. And they do a lot of crash out.
I don't think so. I
definitely think so. I've been around project kids. A lot of these kids don't want to be alive anymore. And they do a lot of crash out behavior to get themselves unalive. Like I've literally seen, I've seen these kids are like, yo, why did you do something as stupid as that? You went to your ops neighborhood wearing this hat, knowing that your ops was going to shoot at you. And they're all like,
that's my personal theory. I know that's kind of
that's the ops. I'm tough.
But my personal theory is
they trying to
unalive
these kids
themselves.
want to unalive themselves.
Like it's just that.
That's my personal theory. I know that's kind of off the road here, but my personal theory is that a lot of these kids want to unalive themselves. It's just that in their environment, unaliving yourself is seen as weak, so they don't do it. They do it another way.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the craziest theory I've ever heard. I don't know if I fully agree with it, but I mean...
Well, yeah, you did have to go.
There could be something there. But, I guess I gotta go...
Oh yeah, you did have to go. My bad.
Yeah,
I do appreciate you being up here. Let's go ahead and do
conversation.
Your last wrap up. I know.
No, not a problem. Not a problem.
Yeah,
I do appreciate you
actually,
being up here. Like, let's go ahead and do your last wrap up. I know.
Good discussion.
Yeah, good discussion. Actually, I think someone wants to come up.
Let's
I gotta go. Like my girl, I'm already running late for my girlfriend. But I'll do like 2 more minutes if you come up quick.
And we'll talk to Zim.
Yeah, let's give you 2 more minutes, and I know you gotta drop out EMT, and we'll talk to Zim.
Yeah,
Zim, you there?
Zim.
EMT, great job, bro. I was on your side. However, that last thing you said about suicidality, it's not just that. It's lack of purpose. It's lack of purpose. It's lack of parenting. It's a whole bunch of flurry of things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's the cause. It's not just that they're poor, so therefore they're lost. Yeah, so they're poor. It causes them to be lost and have lack of but then that doesn't exactly equate to lack of purpose. For example, it's lack of purpose that's causing all these things, and lack of identities, an identity crisis as well.
No, yeah,
right. They don't know what they don't know what they want to be, so they join an identity group, which is a gang or whatever the case may be, and they feel solace in this group identity. It's the same thing with like a lot of leftists. It's lack of purpose, it's nihilism, it's all those things, right? And it's the sentience is what I say, the chance to life that matters in the cases of abortion. And then also why not elective abortions, for example, the rape and incest and life of the mother, right? Why that's an exception for people with religious views is because the mother's life is under threat. That her life is under threat. Something that could be done early to save that, right? And it's something that she didn't want in the first place. For example, rape, and then incest is that. There's many reasons she didn't want it. Was people usually born out of incest have defects and all these kind of things, right?
Yeah. And mine is consent. Consent is why I have those exceptions.
Right, and then in the sense of. It's like, it's also temperance. The government, they oversee temperance in the society. That's why they don't let everybody drink. They don't let everybody do drugs, and they don't let all these things happen without if you break the law, you can still do these things, right? But a lot of things are against the law because when some things are rampant, it causes more issues. That's why I'm like more pro-life, and then there's nothing wrong with having more life, like. I'm African, right? But I'm in America, and if I told you as a black person in America that you're no longer second place, right? You're now third place because of immigration and all these things. So your social power has dropped even further because there's more of people of other race than you, so their needs are more catered to than yours is.
I fundamentally disagree with
abortion
that. I don't think that
the unaliving and all these kind of things, and
is because of abortion.
I fundamentally disagree with that. I don't think that the reason why black people are going through things in America is because of abortion. It's because of historical and systemic reasons.
Yeah, systemic reasons are part of that as well, right? I'm not against saying systemic reasons. Does it go on now? I think if you want to be more pro-black, should be more pro-cultural restoration. What the worst thing that systematic racism did was destroy the culture, more than destroy the finances and destroy the what else? Destroy the acquired wealth and all this kind of stuff. Is destroy the culture. Destroy the common sense state of living. That's the worst thing that they did, more than take the money out of the pockets, right? people don't live. They don't live nuclear. They don't live. They don't believe in.
Yeah. I mean, like we can
interpersonal
talk
relationship
about
has been destroyed as well.
Cultural issues.
All these things cause problems.
Yeah. I mean, like we can talk about the cultural issues within Black America, you know, to our face turn blue. But like, my thing is that those things really have nothing to do with right to access to abortion, because the right to access to abortion, if we look at the statistics, abortion usually happens within the lower class, people who are lower educated and have less money. Those are the ones who are getting the most abortions. People who are generationally and systematically poor and uneducated. Those are the ones who are getting most abortions. So if we want to lower abortions, we should alleviate poverty.
In my view, the issue isn't access to abortion. Is the
Right. So,
Right.
in my view, the issue isn't access to abortion.
Abortion is not
that's
access.
the reason I agree with that.
Right. So my thing is, my entire position is that when it comes to abortion, it's not the access that's the issue. Is that people are poor and have less access to contraceptives and things like that.
You see,
I mean,
I think too.
Go ahead.
I think that. Sure, a little bit of a lag here. I look at that old trope of the welfare queen as being kind of a flip side of this trope of the people who are just getting abortions because, you know, as a form of retroactive birth control, and they're just having tons of them. And it's slyly racist because it's mostly aimed at people of color. It's never aimed at white people like me.
No, but you're saying never, but that's not true. Everybody, like, there's some people who have character traits. They do that. They all do that.
Sure,
it's not like every single person who wants to have an abortion, that's the case. But there are people that do
number.
this. Yeah. There are people that do this, right? And the government's only role is to provide temperance and like stuff like that. Why is that generally a bad thing? Would you agree that's a bad thing?
That's not a bad thing. If you want to get an abortion, get an abortion. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Just do it if you want to or whatever.
No, it's not a bad thing. If you want to get an abortion, get an abortion. I don't think that's a bad thing.
There's no time where it's wrong. Late term, it doesn't matter.
Well, late term is see, here's the thing about late terms abortions, man. Like,
I'm saying elective late term, not. I'm not saying.
Let me finish my point. There is nobody in the second trimester after 6 months or whatever that is electively getting an abortion out of fun. Everybody I know
should it be allowed?
Listen, it should be allowed because that's on the conscience of the person between them and their creator. But I'm telling you that the number of that is even smaller than the number of people who are just doing it, who are having abortions at all to have as a form of birth control. That's even smaller. By the time you get to that late part in a woman's pregnancy, they have a name. They have a set of names picked out. They have furniture and clothing picked out. They are ready for that baby to arrive.
You could get that.
Furniture and clothing. When it's late term, like
so
I would say that
when it's late term, like. I would say that there's literally a zero number of people getting abortions just for fun.
It's not zero.
You're saying that there are people like in the fourth month getting an elective abortion.
I don't know what the number is, but there's nothing is zero.
Hold on. So you're saying that there are people in the fourth month, fully healthy baby, that are getting abortions?
There would be people if they want to, like the law will. If the law permits it, people do it. Even though sometimes if the law doesn't permit it, people do it. So why do you think if the law permits it?
So we're saying that it's happening, but I can't tell when it's happening.
So we're just going with conspiracy now, like this.
It's not conspiracy.
So we're saying that it's happening, but I can't tell when it's happening.
No, it's just like unfalsifiable. There's no way we can.
That doesn't mean,
like, for example, if I say I have a naked picture of your mom in my pocket.
No, it's just like unfalsifiable. There's no way we can prove that. Like, for example, if I say I have a naked picture of your mom in my pocket, there's no way you can.
Right, what I'm saying, hold on.
I can't prove it, but you can do what you want with it, right?
Right, but that's
what you're doing.
What I'm saying. Hold on, Zim, listen.
You're just saying
Zim, listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that what you're doing is something like it's an unfalsifiable claim. You're just saying some things are happening,
I can do the same thing
because they are, because we just kind of let me finish. Because we just kind of know that they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do the same thing. I would like, I have $1 million in Bahamas and a naked picture of your mama pocket. Those are unfalsifiable claims. What do we do with that? There's no debate there.
Nah, but then you can check stats on this, right?
There are no people getting elective
What's the
abortions.
stats
And the
I don't know the stats, but you can look it up.
It's not happening.
Zero. There are no people getting elective
Not only that, because
abortions
before
in
Roe
the
v. Wade,
fourth
that
or
was not
fifth
even legal
months.
to do.
That's not happening.
When Roe v. Wade was here,
Not
you
only that,
couldn't do
because
that.
before Roe v. Wade,
Now
that
that
was
Roe
not
v.
even
Wade's
legal
not
to
here, you
do.
definitely
couldn't
can't
do
do
that.
that. So it wasn't happening.
When Roe v. Wade was here, you couldn't do that. Now that Roe v. Wade is not here, you definitely can't do that. So it wasn't happening.
And Zim, I'm not sure you heard the earlier part of my argument that the overturning of Roe v. Wade wasn't about abortion. I mean, its most significant impact was about abortion, but everybody, men and women both, lost the ability to have their right to privacy of their own bodies. You, me, every woman, my daughters, grandkids, all of us lost that ability because of that court decision. It's impacting women the most right now, but it's all
on
of
a
us who
state to
lost
state
it.
basis, but it was also the states who decided that people who look like us, Zim,
Right,
were
but
not allowed to vote.
it's on a state-to-state basis, but it was also the states who decided that people who look like us, Zim, were not allowed to vote.
Right, but that was how many years ago?
50.
Do you really think that that's going to stop them if they
won't.
get the way they want all the way?
Culture will stop you. Not.
No, it wouldn't. You know how I know culture? You know how I know culture won't stop it? Because there are people right now in these states who believe that
No, it wouldn't. You know how I know
should not
culture?
exist.
You know how I know culture
The
won't
Voting
stop
Rights Act, which
it?
gave
Because there are
people like you and
people
me
right
the
now
right to
in
vote.
these states who
They're saying that it
believe
shouldn't
that the
exist.
Voting Rights Act should not exist. The Voting
We
Rights Act,
literally had a
which gave
Supreme
people
Court
like you and me
justice
the right
who
to
said that it
vote.
shouldn't exist.
They're saying that it
And
should
there's Supreme
exist.
Court justices on the court right now. One of them is a
They
black
had a
one
Supreme
who said
Court
that it shouldn't
justice
exist.
who
So
said that it
culture
shouldn't
wouldn't
exist.
stop it.
And there's Supreme Court justices on the court right now. One of them is a black one who's saying that it shouldn't exist. So
Because
culture
you're-
wouldn't stop it.
Because you're a Supreme Court justice, you're not, for one, you're not in Congress, and then Congress passes laws, right? And then if one Congress member, what is maybe the head of the Congress says, I don't think African Americans shouldn't vote, right? You're fortunate enough that most people in America don't think that, and it's not going to change.
So your own history would tell you that because of the Jim Crow laws, sure you weren't technically slaves anymore, but they gamed the system to make it so you were effectively slaves. What they'll do now.
Also wrong. I'm not pro Jim Crow neither or anything. It's like
no, I'm not saying you are, but here's what the host is talking about. They're not going to directly take away your right to vote, but they'll put so many restrictions on it that'll be effectively impossible, just like they did with Jim Crow.
Like what kind of
And what I'm saying, and another thing that I'm saying, Zim, is that they don't have to go through Congress. Because remember, this was the same thing with Roe v. Wade. It was just laws that they took all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they took it away, or they granted it, or took it away. It's the same thing with the Voting Rights Act. This already went up to the Supreme Court, which is why we have
polling stations. They can do voter
which is why we have all these laws in
without
different states who like shorten polling stations. They can do voter purges without telling us. They can do these like the voter ID laws that would disproportionately affect us because they say, oh, you need to have this type of ID, it has to be spelled this certain way, et cetera, et cetera. You see what I'm saying? Like those would disproportionately affect us.
I don't think ID will ever be an issue. It will be more so whether your driver's license or voter ID or whatever the case is, right? It's with
The reason why voter ID causes an issue is not about an ID.
The reason why voter ID causes an issue is not about an ID itself. It's about the type of ID and what they accept. What they found in North Carolina is that the type of ID that they would accept, and the name on the ID that they would accept, disproportionately affected black people to the point where it got to the Supreme Court that they even said that this law targets black people to a surgical precision, and it was supposed to be, and it got overturned. There are people who are doing that now.
Wait, hold on. I would like to understand what would be on that ID
the way
exactly that would actually disproportionately affect African Americans.
Because the way that the name is spelled.
Exactly.
What does that have to do anything? Like, I don't get how is it wrongly spelled or rightly spelled?
Exactly.
For example, they would look at
give me a bad. Okay, what's the bad one?
Listen to these two names, right?
For example,
if I were to tell you,
they would look at
you would picture one thing. But if I told you DeAndre Jenkins,
if I were to tell you Joseph Smith,
or if I told you
would picture one
Collins,
But if I told you DeAndre Jenkins,
so what
you would picture something else. Or if I told you Shaniqua Collins,
if it's not
you would picture something else.
in a certain
so what
way,
what this ID would do would be like if it's not spelled in a certain phonetic way, they can reject the ID. So if Shaniqua, like how Shia put in the comments, is spelled SHANIQUA,
they can reject that ID.
but they feel that Shaniqua should be spelled with a K instead of a Q. They can reject that ID.
Wait, hold on. You said you don't think that's true. This is literally a real case.
Hold on. Wait.
This actually happened.
You said you don't think that's true. This is literally a real case that I'm giving you. It's an actual case.
That's what I'm saying.
This actually happened. So it is a thing. You can't say it's not true. It is true. It actually happened. That's what I'm saying.
So what I'm saying is, when you put your name on, when you're making an ID, right? You would need, for example, a birth certificate or whatever. You're going to need your first ID, right? And then it's going to replicate whatever is on your first ID, and that is your name. Whatever. If my name is 2ABC, right? I'm 2ABC for life because my birth certificate says 2ABC. And if I want to change my name, I would need an affidavit of name change.
Zim, you completely...
And now you call
Wait, Zim, listen real quick. Zim, listen real quick.
Zim, hold on, Zim. You completely...
And if I change my name...
Wait, Zim, listen.
The example that I gave you was an actual real case.
You completely ignored everything I said.
And they said that they are targeting
the example that I gave you was an actual real case that went to Supreme Court of North Carolina, and they said that they are targeting black people with that.
You can say is not true.
It's an actual real thing. So what I'm bringing up, listen, what I'm bringing up is not something fake or something that you can say is not true, or you can get your ID because this ID, things like that. That does not matter.
That's what I'm trying to
That does not matter.
Yeah, you can go and say, hey,
that does not matter because they literally targeted these people with that.
In this law, the person can literally say, I don't believe you.
Yeah, you can go and say, hey,
that's why they said that they were targeting black people.
In this law, a person can literally say, I don't believe you. That's why they said that they were targeting black people with surgical precision.
Yeah, and that's why it had to be overturned. Because they sued for it.
I mean, you could.
But what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to bring
that's why
out
it had to be overturned.
This entire point
because they sued
that
for
just
it.
because something goes back to the states
what
does
I'm
not
trying
mean
to
that oppression
what we're trying to bring out to you this entire point is that just because something goes
back
back to the states does not mean that oppression no longer happens. It'll definitely still happen. And as a matter of fact, it'll be worse because it was the states who decided to oppress us.
And as a kind of another example of that, if you look back in the past, a lot of people have this in their mind, have this thing that if it's legal, it is also moral, and in fact it is not. When you look at the Fugitive Slave Act, you'd have free black men who are in the North who would get kidnapped and sold into slavery in the South. Then you have the Supreme Court ruled on the Fugitive Slave Act, and if I remember right, they said, yeah, the Southerners can't come up here and steal their slaves back and just totally imprison these people.
I got a question before.
And if the laws that can do that then, they can also do that now, which is the kind of the point he's trying to make, is that they're already doing it now.
What was your question?
Well, to be honest, I think that is silly, right? If I was gonna be frank, it's silly, and if you couldn't sue against it, I was silly and trivial, and it could happen to anybody. There's no way that, I mean, you just have an ID. It's an ID. We know how IDs work. It's like I've seen a silly case, right, where I want to renew my passport and they tell me there's a dash on it or whatever, right? And so therefore I can't renew my passport because there's a dash on it, right? But that can be changed, right? And then it doesn't change. It doesn't take much then to change whatever the error is or whatever. And that name 2AB is on my Social Security, is on my birth certificate, is on like all the essential documents that you get off of RIP. And if your name is wrong, your ID is wrong. Like when you get your ID, you can literally see this.
Zim, are you understanding what I'm saying, Zim?
My original ID, and it could cause issues.
Are you really understanding what I'm saying?
Right then and there, or whatever.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Okay, but
It's not-
Zim, are you understanding what I'm saying, Zim? Yeah, are you really understanding what I'm saying?
So
Zim?
you
No,
say,
what I'm
think
saying
you understand what I'm
is
saying.
that
damage can be
what I'm
done,
no,
done
Zim, listen,
temporarily,
listen,
and then
listen,
you
Zim,
miss
Zim,
your opportunity.
Zim, stop
of,
talking,
for
stop
example,
talking,
your
stop
one vote,
talking,
or
stop talking.
your
No,
month,
what I'm
votes don't
saying
count
is
because
that
the black
we're
what I'm
saying
no,
is
Zim,
that
listen,
they
listen,
moved
Zim,
this-
on a
these
black
listen,
laws
Zim,
at
Zim,
one election, and then
Zim, stop
the law
talking,
that's
stop
decided by
talking,
the
stop
state.
talking, stop
They've
talking.
been doing it
Listen,
for a
Zim.
while.
What we're saying
they
is
already
that
did with the
they
Voting
use
Rights
these
Act,
laws
took away a
to
certain
suppress
rule
our vote,
that does
and these
not
laws
allow
are decided by the
states
state.
to purge
They've
the
been
voting
doing it
rolls
for a while.
without first
They
telling
did.
Congress.
They already did with the
started
Voting
to-
Rights
they
Act when they
started to
took
do
away
that.
a certain
Texas
rule
has now
that does not
can
allow
purge
the
voter
states
rolls.
to
Georgia can
purge
do
the
it.
voter
And
rolls
all these states can do
without
it. That's what
first
they've
telling
been doing.
Congress.
They
They started.
polling
They
stations,
started to do that. Texas has
stopped,
now can purge voter rolls.
They made polling
Georgia can
stations
do
close
it.
early,
All
and
these
they
states
started
can do it.
putting
That's what they've
in,
been doing. They
a voter
moved polling
ID
stations.
where they
They
knew
stopped.
black people would have problems with that.
They made polling stations close early, and they started putting in some type of voter ID where they knew that black people would have problems with that with the voter ID law that they were trying to put in. They are targeting us for us to make it not vote. That's why systemic racism is still real.
Who should be allowed to vote?
Any American citizen over 18.
Anyone over
Any
18
American
that
citizen
works.
over the, yes.
Does it matter if they're legal or illegal?
Yes.
Any American citizen over 18.
Felony and all that,
Yes.
right? So, if you were removed as
Right now is not. It
a
used to be.
fully legal person that can vote, right?
Yeah, that's exactly the point that Tom was
Is
making
that
earlier.
against the law?
Right, and
Right
I would
now
add
it's
to
not.
that.
It used to
Just
be.
like
Is that it's
Yeah,
just
that's
Taylor
exactly the point that
said
Tom was
before,
making earlier.
they would
It's
game
moral.
the system in order to
Right,
suppress
and I would
black
add to
people.
that.
That's
Just
gaming the system.
like
It's not illegal.
Taylor Tom said
remove your name
before
from
that
the-
they
from
would
the voter
game the
purge.
system
That's
in
not
order
illegal at all.
to suppress and
But
oppress black people.
if they can
That's gaming the
remove,
system.
voters
It's not
from the,
illegal
if they can voter
to remove your name from the voter
rolls
purge.
without
That's
notifying
not illegal at all.
Who
But
do you think
if they can
they'll do it to?
remove voters from the if they can voter purge, remove voters
what
from
happened
the
in
rolls
Georgia.
without notifying anyone, who
That's
do
not
you
a
think
conspiracy. It
they'll
literally
do
happened
it
in
to?
Georgia. Zim. It literally happened. Zim, hold on. It literally happened in Georgia.
Or whatever.
They
It's like-
removed people from the voter
it's
purge.
like-
That's
who
not a
had no
conspiracy.
felonies,
It literally
who had
happened
no
in
crime on their record. They just
Zim,
removed
Zim,
them from
it
the
literally
rolls.
Zim, hold on. It
just
literally
removed
happened
them.
in Georgia.
For
They
no
removed
reason, just
people from the
removed
voter
them.
purge who had no felonies,
They,
who had
the
no
state
crime
of
on their
Georgia,
record.
Brian
Just
Kemp
removed
got
them
sued for
from the
that.
votes.
The state of
They just
Georgia got
removed them.
sued for that back in
For no reason, just removed
2000 and I
them.
think
I-
8 and I
I
think
know
2014
the state of
again.
Georgia,
They got sued
Brian
for that.
Kemp got
They
sued
removed
for that.
50,000 people from the voter
The state
rolls
of
for
Georgia
no
got
reason.
sued for that back in 2000 and I think 8 and I think
This is what I'm
2014
saying. They
again.
will
They
game
got
the
sued for
system.
that. They removed 50,000 people from the voter rolls for
That's
no
a
reason.
problem, bro. If you don't know this, we're black people. We gotta know this type of shit.
This is what I'm saying.
I
They will
got a
game the
violation,
system.
y'all, so I gotta end it soon.
Please do.
Because last time I got a
That's a
violation.
problem, bro. If you don't know this, we're black people. We gotta know this type of
because
shit.
I got a violation. But
I got a violation.
Zim, was
y'all,
there
so I
anything
gotta
else
end
that,
it
up here
soon.
that you disagree?
Because last time I got a violation, they bananaed me. So I'm gonna have to end this soon because I got a violation. But yeah, I know.
My bad if I talk
Zim,
over
was there
you,
anything else that up here that you disagree? I know. Oh, crap. He left. I was gonna ask him if there was anything else up here that he disagreed with. My bad if I talked over you, Tom.
See, no worries, man. It's a discussion and there's lag and latency in this technology we're using. It's all good. Like, there is a whole bunch of stuff that I was blind to. On my immediate family, we're immigrants on both sides of the family. And then I did some digging and I discovered there was this whole other side of my family that, so I figured I was safe. I couldn't possibly be a racist person because all my family's immigrants. We haven't been here that long. Then I discovered this other side of my family that's been here since damn near the Mayflower, who had a tobacco plantation in Virginia in the 1700s.
Oh wow.
Now, you tell me what that means. You tell me what that means, right? You know what that means?
Yeah.
Some of my relatives owned people. And that broke my brain a little bit. I was like, all right, if it can happen to me, it can happen to any of my white friends. And it took me a while to understand what the difference between being a bigot and having the advantage of systemic racism.
Right.
Like, for example, this really happened to me. My wife worked for a lady who was an African American, and she prioritized African American people in the positions in her work over my wife all the time, constantly. And it made me really mad. But you know what we did to change that? She got a different job.
It's extremely difficult.
I don't know a single black person that can get a different job and change their circumstance like that.
I believe that most white people in America, including white people,
difficult. One thing I've said is I truly believe this, right? I believe that most white people in America, including white conservatives, I truly believe that most of them are not hateful racist, but
educated people.
Most,
which is why when I
would say on the left or the right are racially ignorant, and it's not their fault. It's just the way the American system has educated people.
Yeah, Jesse.
You know what I mean? Which is why when I do these lives, I try. Which is why when I do these lives, I try to speak in. Oh, I had a
definitely
guest.
coming next time. I do these every other day.
Yeah, Jesse was here. Hey, sorry, Jesse. Sorry, Jesse. I did see you request, and I didn't get to you. I'm apologies for that. Definitely coming next time. I do these every other day. But yeah,
sets it up. Like
these
it doesn't really teach these things. Like for example,
I don't think like most white people I think are racially ignorant because of how the American system sets it up. Like it doesn't really teach these things. Like for example, when I was in the military, I knew a kid from California, right?
He had no idea who the Black Panthers were.
He wasn't.
And I'm like, bro, you're from the Oakland area, but you don't know who the Black Panthers are? Like, it was mind blown. You see what I mean? Mind blown. Like, and it's like he said he just wasn't taught. He just wasn't taught it. He just wasn't taught it. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. It's like, so he said a lot of things that were like racially ignorant, but I had to guide him and teach him a little bit. I mean, of course, he still stayed a MAGA conservative. It's the military, so of course, you know what I mean? But I had to guide him and teach him a little bit. At least I was able to open his mind. But at that point, that's when I realized, okay, a lot of white folks are not really racist. They just don't know these things. They're just not taught.
I had to guide him and teach him a little bit. At least I was able to open his mind. But at that point, that's when I realized, okay, a lot of white folks are not really racist. They just don't know these things. They're just not taught.
Yeah, they're unconsciously racist because they don't really they like. It took me having life experience, and then I took this. Like I said, I have a BA in history. I was going to be a history teacher. My elective was Black American history, and we still have more to learn. I'm perfectly willing to understand, to admit that there is a lot more to the Black experience in this country that I do not know and cannot comprehend because I did not experience it. But I had a version of the talk given to me by my dad. You know, this was a felon, and he's like, don't trust the cops, keep your hands on the wheel, don't say anything, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. But still to this day, because I'm white, I never worry about getting shot. Because I'm white. Because it's just how
it's just how it goes. I mean, I've always told people that too. I said, hey, y'all, police brutality, it affects poor white people too. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? You're not really immune, you feel me? But is it less likely to happen? Yeah, less likely to happen. But it could still happen to you. You know, police brutality. It's a big thing. I've always said, you know, when it comes to policing, one of the reasons why I'm more on the abolish prison industry and defund the police is because the industry, the prison industry, even though it goes after black people mostly, the targets is going to be poor people. You know what I mean? Poor people as a mass. It's going to target black people because we're have less protection, but it targets poor people as a mass. You know what I mean? So it's like poor whites, poor Asians. The people that you see in prison mostly are poor. You know what I mean? So it's like at the end of the day, we need to recognize this, and yeah, we have to have a global class consciousness to understand that, and to be just like how you said you took some electives in Black American history to understand that part of the experience as well. Because you have a poor white experience, you can definitely understand that, but the poor black experience is something that's totally foreign, so you got to get educated on it. You know what I mean? Like, if we would do more of that, which is why one of the reasons why I do these lives for, you know, folks like yourself to speak to that, and, you know, we all kind of get to an understanding.
Speak to that, and we all kind of get to an understanding.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. I stole food to eat at one point in my life. This is what I had to do. I was really broke. But to get to your universal health care point, I have we can game the system and do it right now. If you can get enough people on board, is first of all make government service mandatory. Either you join the Peace Corps or you join the military. You sign up for 4 years. For every year you pick after the first 2, you get a free year of college or trade school. If you pick 4 years, you get, or pick 6 years, you get a free college education for 4 years, or free 4 years in trade school. And because you're in the, you would then, that would be looped into the military, you're eligible for the VA.
Mm-hmm. It is. That is using the system we already have in place, because my idea was to just open up
that is using the system we already have in place, because
like
my
right now,
idea was to just open up Medicare for all. Just give Medicare to, like, because right now, if you're like a 16-year-old kid who works at Pizza Hut or something, you're paying into Medicare. So
because you know that
20%
gap exists only because of
and
so just get rid of that stupid
20% gap. Because you know that 20% gap exists only because of racism anyway. You know what I mean? So just get rid of that stupid thing and just open up Medicare for all. The moment you start working, you can start using Medicare.
Do Medicaid?
I was gonna say, like, let's just do that. Yeah, I mean, or
you just sign up for it.
Do Medicaid the way it's done in New York City. In New York City, everyone can get Medicaid.
Those are my ideas.
You just sign up for anyone can get it. Yeah, I mean, you can just do Medicaid just like that. Yeah, I mean, so those are my ideas to do universal health care, and of course there's single payer and stuff like that. But your ideas isn't bad either. I have heard of join the Peace Corps, or everyone does 2 years in the military. I do know that that's going to be a hard political sell, because people just they don't want the draft is very unpopular. You know what I mean? But like the Peace Corps, or like make government service mandatory. That's not a bad idea. You know what I mean? So the Peace Corps, the military, USPS, things like that.
Well, and it pulls the fangs out of a lot of right-wing talking points where they're like, well, in order to be, to be a citizen, you have to serve in some capacity or another. Well, this totally doesn't end around. Well, if, religious or conscientious objections, that's fine. Then you join the Peace Corps.
Exactly, Peace Corps or USPS.
All kinds of public works here.
Like that. All right, Tom, I'm going to have to go ahead and
USPS, the Postal Service, and anything like that.
Yeah, I got to go.
All right, Tom, I'm going to have to go ahead and
yeah. We could definitely do that.
Yeah, I got to go. Reparations. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, reparations. We could definitely do that. What do you want to talk about reparations?
So this is where I need a little bit more education here, because what I'm thinking is that reparations is not on one size fits all. I think it should be cash and like college, like we do for the American or indigenous population, as well as working out some system of reinvestment in the black community. But I don't have enough knowledge to go further than those kind of half-assed thoughts.
You're actually
I would be willing to happy to hear whatever you have to say on that.
75% there already. Yeah. Those are ideas. The main idea,
probably like 75% there already. Yeah. Those are ideas. The main idea, of course, is cash. Cash reparations, just like they did with the Japanese. Sending out a check.
The reason why
either one time or over the course of 10 years.
Kind of lukewarm or kind of sour
there's that. The reason why people are kind of lukewarm or kind of sour on the programs thing is because we know how the government works. We gotta save money. So once a conservative comes in, let's cut this budget.
Has to be there.
They cut out the program.
Or you make it part of the military budget or something like that.
Unless you make it like perpetual, like it has to be there. You know what I mean? Or you make it part of the military budget or something like that. Like somehow, some way make it permanent. Make the program permanent. You know what I mean? That's the only way that it'll happen. That's why people mostly support cash reparations. What I would add is that in areas that were behind those schools, bring back or have trade schools in those high schools, basically. So every student that graduates from these red line schools, they can graduate either as a carpenter, as a welder, as a truck driver, as a plumber.
Get the cash reparations, but the kids themselves, they're able to go to school
their
to learn,
parents
skills,
get the cash reparations, but the kids themselves, they're able to go to school to learn skills, so they can graduate with a skill and continue to build wealth into their communities because they all graduated with a skill. Those are two things that I think we should have.
Not a problem. But yeah, a lot of people say, hey, let's do the programs thing, but that's why people are starting programs because a Republican president will just come in.
But yeah, a lot of people say, hey, let's do the programs thing, but that's why people are sour on programs because a Republican president will just come in and cut it. You know what I mean? That's why.
Well, and like I have a bunch of my friends who I tried to join the military, and because it was the mid '80s and we weren't busy bombing brown people, I didn't get in, because I have a heart defect that I had a waiver for, but they didn't accept the waiver. So I enlisted but got bounced at MEPS.
Damn.
But having said that, yeah, it sucked. But what were we just talking about?
On reparations.
Talking about what were we just talking about? I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Oh, on reparations.
Oh yeah, so a lot of my friends who are veterans have said, and I'm sure you've heard this before, is like the worst thing you can hear is I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And like my counter to that is, well, sure, if you constantly underfund and understaff everything, of course that's going to be a shit show.
Exactly.
Like think about how good the VA could. Like my stepdad was a Vietnam vet, and I went with him twice a month to Hines Hospital in Chicago for his medical care, because he was paralyzed due to something in the service, but he still got taken care of there. And like I saw how badly that was handled. Yeah. And like how good could that actually be if we invest?
Yeah, and that's the actual main issue with the VA. Like it's not properly funded and properly like has proper oversight.
And that's the actual main issue with the VA. Like it's not properly funded and properly like has proper oversight. That's the main issue. The issue with the VA is not that it's government run, because it's underfunded. It's underfunded and there's no proper oversight. That's
I was gonna say that's the main issue. Gotta get out of here. My battery's running low.
But
I do appreciate you being up here.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna drop.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually do gotta get out of here. My battery's running low.
Next time.
But I do appreciate you being up here.
I do this every other day.
I'm gonna drop you a follow once I get off.
I do this every other day.
Please come up next time. I do this every other day.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. I do these every other day. This week is politics. Next week I'm doing religion. I'm not sure if you're a religious person or not, but
I used to be.
Those definitely get into the weeds.
Next week I'm doing religion. I do a lot of Bible questions because I'm a non-believer. So those definitely get into the weeds. You know.
I'm a recovering Pentecostal.
Kind of associated with it.
Were you Church of God in Christ or what?
Kind of associated with it. I was New Jerusalem because I'm a New Jerusalem Haitian church.
Oh.
Yeah. Church of God in Christ is actually awesome.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it was cool. But all right, man, I do appreciate you being here.
Church of God.
Not a problem.
Church of God in Christ is actually awesome.
All right, guys, I got to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and catch some Z's.
Not a problem.
I got some things to do tomorrow, but I do appreciate everybody.
All right, guys,
being here.
I got to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and catch some Z's.
I do appreciate all the gifts
I got some things to do tomorrow, but I do appreciate
everybody
everybody
being here.
here.
I do these every other day, so if you want to join me,
I do appreciate Aina. I do appreciate
all
the gifts that were sent.
There as well.
Guys, remember, I do these every other day, so if you want to join me for the next time, if you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate you there as well.
Saturday, I'll be back.
This post is going to come up, I think, what's tomorrow's Friday, and so Saturday I'll be back, and I'll do this then. I do appreciate everybody who was here, and I appreciate all the likes and speaking in the comments. This is gonna go up on YouTube. Follow me on my YouTube. Same thing, Bolsey Thoughts. I'll drop some access there, and some highlights there. Again, peace out, everybody.